For people who don't know anything about biology, a great foundation can be created in understanding cells, their structure and function. This foundation is crucial to all life and is essential to understanding what we are. Cells are to humans, in some ways, to what atoms are to the universe. Tiny, and I mean very tiny, spherical objects make up all of life. So tiny that there are roughly 20 to 100 trillion that make up one individual. There are all sorts of cells that make up tissues. These tissues are what make up everything that we are: bones, blood, skin, and organs. And it doesn't stop there. Like I first mentioned, all life is made up of cells, including but not limited to plants, fungi, mold, and bacteria. There are two types of cells, the eukaryotic and the prokaryotic. In this video, we will dive deeper in understanding the more complex of the two cells, the eukaryotic cell. This is what us humans are made of. The first part of the cell we'll cover is the cell's structure. We'll focus on the eukaryotic cell since this is the type of cell animals, including humans, are made of. The membrane or the cell wall acts as a closed capsule to ensure that all the cryptoplasm and other organelles, which is any structure inside of a cell, remain in each individual cell. The nucleus, which is the largest part inside of the cell, contains DNA and RNA. The ribosomes are proteins that can be found inside the cell as well as on the cell's membrane. The lysosomes disintegrate all unusable organelles. The Golgi apparatus analyzes and distributes molecules made by the host cell. The DNA plays possibly the largest role in human life. This is the part of the cell that looks like a twisted ladder we have all seen at some time or another. These long ladder-like strands of code are packed up nice and tight in each nucleus of the cell. A nucleotide is a molecule that is the basic unit of DNA. The four different types are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. These nucleotides are the stairs in the ladder. RNA is very similar to DNA except that it is single-stranded instead of double. It also doesn't have thymine. Instead, it has uracil. DNA replication is an important part that allows a cell to function and duplicate. In this process, the DNA unzips into two strands, both having a template for an additional strand. This process happens in every cell and is always taking place. Protein synthesis is the process of making proteins and replaces ones that die off. Proteins are the largest molecules in cells and make up the majority of bones, molecules, and red blood cells. Amino acids are smaller units that make up these proteins. Some of these amino acids are essential amino acids, meaning they need to be consumed in the diet. The genetic code is the base pair sequence of the DNA molecule. The information to make up different proteins is contained in DNA molecule. Each one of these molecules is called a gene. These codes are slightly different in every person. Protein synthesis has two steps: transcription and translation. Transcription is the part that copies the DNA to create RNA, then mRNA, or messenger RNA. The translation is where the mRNA goes into the ribosome. The translation RNA, or tRNA, reads the mRNA. This process does create mistakes, and this is where some variation comes from. Understanding the nature of cells is tricky business that takes time to comprehend. This short video is meant to introduce you to the topic and for you to get a grasp on its function and structure. It is important to remember that each individual cell is like its own city that takes many different pieces performing its function to be what we are today. Other important takeaways is to remember that DNA is stored in the nucleus. It is the coding system that creates all the variety of life. DNA is unzipped to create RNA. This allows other structures in the cell duplicate these sets of codes to perform different tasks. There are trillions of these cells in us performing all these complicated procedures, and it is because of this that we are able to exist today.